Once upon a time, in the tranquil village of Oluma, there was a mysterious stranger named Evelyn. The village was small, a peaceful haven where everyone knew one another. Life was simple and predictable until Evelyn arrived. She stood apart from the rest with long flowing hair, a radiant complexion, and an air of grace that captured everyone's attention. Her elegance was unmatched. Evelyn wore the finest dresses, delicate fabric that shimmered in the sun, and jewelry that sparkled like stars. She carried herself with an aura of confidence, making her stand out from the villagers. They couldn't help but stare, captivated by her beauty and mysterious presence. Though Evelyn had only arrived in Oluma a few months ago, she had already made an undeniable impact on the village. The young women watched her from a distance, whispering to one another, trying to figure out her secret. How did she afford such luxury? What magical cream kept her skin glowing so perfectly? Many tried to imitate her, hoping to capture just a glimpse of her beauty, but they all failed. The men, on the other hand, were mesmerized by her. They watched her with longing from afar, sending her flowers, gifts, and letters, but no one knew anything about her past or her true intentions. After settling in a quaint cottage on the outskirts of the village, Evelyn kept to herself, avoiding gossip or village festivities. The villagers were left wondering about her origin. Some said she was a noblewoman who had fled from a distant kingdom. Others believed she was a widow living off the riches of her late merchant husband, but no one knew for sure. Evelyn became the village's fashion icon, admired and envied by many, especially the young women who dreamt of being like her. One afternoon, a few of the village girls decided to visit her house, eager to learn her secret. They greeted her with wide smiles, their eyes filled with admiration. "Evelyn, you are more beautiful than ever. We wish to be like you. Tell us your secret. What cream do you use? How do you maintain such beauty?" they asked. Evelyn's eyes sparkled with mystery as she smiled. She leaned in, as if sharing a sacred secret. "It's not a cream," she whispered. "It's a miracle water given to me by my mother. I drink it every day to maintain my beauty. It also brings success into my life." The girls gasped, their excitement growing. "Can you give it to us?" they asked eagerly. Evelyn's smile widened. "Of course," she said, her voice smooth and soothing. "I have plenty to share. Drink it and let beauty and success come to you." Without hesitation, the girls eagerly drank the water, thanking her joyfully as they left her house. Word spread quickly, and soon more young women came to her door, eager to drink the miracle water. Even young men, hoping to become more handsome and wealthy, joined the line. Evelyn welcomed them all, handing them the same small container filled with the clear liquid. With every sip they took, her smile grew ever wider, but behind her flawless smile, something dark lurked, and Evelyn whispered to herself, "Good, my plan is unfolding perfectly." What the villagers didn't know was that the so-called miracle water was no blessing, it was a curse. Soon they would all learn the terrifying truth. Days passed, but the villagers who drank Evelyn's miracle water saw no changes. Their skin didn't glow like hers, nor did they find themselves suddenly wealthy. Instead, something far more disturbing began to happen. Every night, after closing their eyes, they found themselves transported to a strange, dark coven. The air was thick with smoke, and the scent of burning herbs filled their nostrils. They were surrounded by others who had drunk the water, all dressed in black robes. At the center of the coven sat an ancient, terrifying witch on a black stone throne. Her skin was sagging and wrinkled, her yellow eyes gleaming in the dim light. A dark crown rested on her head as she smiled wickedly, showing her sharp, broken teeth. "Welcome, my children," the The witch's voice echoed, sending chills down their spines. "You have joined me at last." Panic spread through the villagers. "What is this place? Who are you?" one of them cried. The witch let out a sinister laugh. "Foolish mortals," she sneered. "You drank the water of the coven. You are mine now." Suddenly, the horrifying truth hit them. The miracle water was no gift, it was a trap. Evelyn had lured them in one by one, making them drink the cursed liquid, and now they were all bound to this dark place. The villagers tried to run, but the air grew heavy, and their bodies were frozen in place, held by an invisible force. "There is no escape," the witch hissed. "You belong to me now, and soon you will serve me forever." Back in the village, Evelyn sat in her lavish home, gazing into a mirror with a cruel smile. "The coven grows stronger," she whispered. "Soon I will rule this village." But one young woman, Blessing, began to suspect that something was terribly wrong. She had been watching, observing how the villagers who drank Evelyn's so-called miracle water remained unchanged. No glow, no sudden wealth. Instead, they appeared more drained, as if something sinister was happening to them. Determined to uncover the truth, Blessing decided to confront Evelyn. One morning, she made her way to Evelyn's house, her heart pounding with anticipation. Evelyn greeted her with her usual charm. "Good morning, Evelyn," Blessing said sweetly. "I've come for my miracle water. I want to look beautiful like you." Evelyn smiled knowingly. "Ah, you've come. I knew you would," she said. She turned and retrieved the small container. "Here, my dear, drink it and beauty will embrace you." Blessing hesitated for a moment but then quickly shook her head. "I want to take it home," she said. "I want to drink it every day so I can become just like you, maybe even your twin sister." Evelyn's smile faltered, but then she laughed and nodded. "Of course, my dear. Take it and drink well." Blessing thanked her and hurried away, but instead of going home, she went to see a prophetess, a powerful woman known for her divine visions and prayers, respected by all. When Blessing arrived, she explained everything to the prophetess: Evelyn's sudden appearance, the miracle water, and how nearly the whole village had drunk it. The prophetess listened intently, her expression growing darker with every word. When she reached for the container, she whispered a prayer over it. Immediately, the liquid turned a deep, menacing black, and a foul, sulfuric smell filled the air. "What is that?" Blessing gasped, her heart racing. The prophetess's eyes flashed with divine fury. "This is no miracle water, child," she said gravely. "This is a potion of bondage. Evelyn is working with dark forces." Blessing's blood ran cold. "What do we do?" she whispered, trembling. The prophetess stood tall, gripping her staff. "We must expose her, but first I must pray. The power behind this curse is strong." With her staff raised high, the prophetess began to pray, her voice resonating with divine power. The air around them vibrated and the ground beneath them trembled. Somewhere far away, Evelyn felt the disturbance. Her eyes snapped open and her hands curled into fists. "Who dares challenge me?" she growled. The battle between light and darkness had begun. As the villagers began to process what had just occurred, the air was thick with confusion, fear, and relief. The once beautiful Jessica, now revealed as the wicked Beatrice, had vanished into nothingness, her dark magic destroyed by the power of the Almighty. Yet the scars she had left on the villagers were deep, and though the darkness was gone, the aftermath was still haunting. The villagers stood in stern silence, looking at one another, some still trying to comprehend the gravity of what had transpired. They had been deceived, manipulated, and bound to forces they never understood. But now they were free. They had been given another chance, and they had to take it. Blessing, her heart still racing from the event, turned to the prophetess. "What now?" she asked quietly, her voice trembling but filled with determination. How do we rebuild? The prophetess, her face glowing with divine light, looked at her with compassion. You must remember this lesson, she said. The lust for beauty, wealth, and power can cloud your judgment, leading you down paths of darkness. But the light of truth, the power of unity, and the strength of faith are the true treasures you should seek. The villagers, still kneeling, nodded in agreement. Slowly, they began to rise, helping each other to their feet, embracing the reality of their situation. They knew they had to rebuild not just their village, but also their lives, their trust in one another, and their faiths. In the days that followed, the prophetess stayed in the village, offering guidance and prayers to those who were still struggling with the remnants of the curse. They learned to support one another, to heal from the trauma they had endured, and to seek true beauty, one that came from within, not from outward appearances or fleeting desires. Beatrice's legacy, though devastating, was not one that would define the village forever. Over time, the villagers became stronger, wiser, and more connected to their roots, understanding that their worth was not determined by superficial beauty or material wealth. They had learned that the most powerful force was love, compassion, and the strength that came from unity. Blessing, now regarded as a hero in the village, took it upon herself to share her story, warning others of the dangers of vanity, deception, and dark forces that often lurked in the shadows. She spoke of the importance of looking beyond appearances, of seeing the true value in people, and of never allowing oneself to be blinded by the illusions that others may cast before them. Years passed, and Aluma village flourished once again, but the memory of what had happened would never be forgotten. The villagers had learned a valuable lesson, one that would echo through the generations. True beauty, true wealth, and true power come from within, and no one should ever be tempted by the promise of something that seems too good to be true. And so, Aluma became a place of wisdom, where the people cherished their inner strength and the bonds they shared. They knew that they were stronger together, and that no amount of outward beauty or wealth could ever replace the peace they had found in their hearts. But the memory of Jessica, or rather Beatrice, would never fade completely. The story of the witch who deceived them, who nearly dragged their souls into eternal darkness, would be told for generations to come, a reminder of the dangers that lie in the pursuit of false desires. And so, the village of Aluma, once shrouded in darkness, now stood as a beacon of resilience, unity, and true beauty. The story of Jessica, or Beatrice, became a cautionary tale whispered through the generation, a reminder of the power of deceit and the importance of inner strength. The people had rebuilt their lives, stronger than ever, with a newfound appreciation for the true treasures of love, faith, and community. The lessons learned were etched into the very fabric of the village, shaping a future where beauty was not found in the surface, but in the hearts of the people. And with that, the story of Aluma's redemption came to a close, but its legacy lived on in the hearts of those who had witnessed the darkness and emerged into the light.